Hello, my name is Eric Lantris, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about a case study, a Google Plus case study. Essentially, we've done a few in the past, and today we want to look at a rumor and figure out, hey, is it still worth it? Is social media still kicking? Well, the answer overall is social media is still kicking. It's still alive. It's still a good thing to do. But specifically with Google Plus, it seems to be dying. Like it's a social network that just people just don't use. So should you even bother today? Should you even consider it? Should you even factor it in? Is it part of your ranking recipe? That's what we want to look at today. And it all was ignited by a few rumors. So there's been rumors around Google Plus. Some stories are coming out or have come out of how Google was trying to force it down people's throats. They were trying to use their monopoly to affect search results, and that's why that's how they were trying to pass Google Plus and kind of influence the market. So we're gonna look at two tests. We're gonna look at one test, which is the Google Plus button. Hey, is it a ranking factor? Because in the rumor they're talking about the Google Plus button. And number two is going to be Google Votes, like G Plus Votes. Are they still working? Like, are they an offline ranking factor like backlinks? So I hope you're excited. Let's dive into it. So it all started with the Google rumor. There's a post on Gizmodo a little while ago talking about how some guy was being forced to use the Google Plus button. Specifically, the Google salespeople were encouraging Forbes, so a major website, to add the plus one social buttons to the articles alongside the Facebook and the Reddit and all that. And they were saying it's an important factor because the recommendations would be a rank factor in the search results and so forth. So that led people to suspect or believe or even ask the question like, hey, does a Google Plus button affect my rankings? Is Google going to verify to make sure I'm putting that Google Plus button on my site and then say, hey, you're a good internet citizen, I'm going to give you a bit better rankings? So, we've decided just to test. Why not? So all things being equal, we created 3 pages, and those 3 pages were essentially exactly the same, almost. The only difference was a Google Plus button. So they all had 850 words. They all had one headline, no subheadlines. We all mentioned a keyword. The keyword density is exactly the same in every single one. No internal links. Basically exactly the same 3 times. Only difference really being a Google Plus badge on it. And then we all submitted them to Webmaster via Webmaster Tools at the same time to make sure they were all indexed. All right, so then results kind of did their normal thing. They bounced around. And we waited about 2 weeks till we were seeing stable results every single day. And to kind of the results speak for themselves, where the Google badge was number 2. So if after 2 weeks, if it really was a ranking result, it probably would have been number 1, but the page ranking in position number 1 had no Google badge. It was just 3 random pages that were identical except for a Google badge, and the Google badge did not rise to the top. In fact, as we were monitoring the results day in, day out, we saw that the page with the Google Plus badge never even hit number 1, not even once, not even randomly. It was always number 3 or number 2, which is great. I mean, it's good to know that actually confirms that having the Google Plus badge on the page does not help rankings. So kind of wanted to bust that potential rumor, that myth. We've shown that really just having the badge does absolutely nothing. It doesn't help you. It does not help you. All the pages were just treated completely normally. And so, if you don't plan on using a Google Plus badge and you don't think that people are going to use it on your site, then probably you don't need to include it. So that was really good. However, the question still remained, what about Google Votes? So we wanted to test that as well, because in the past, in 2013, 2014, I did tests and I found that they helped. However, we are a few years later now and things have changed. Google Plus, let's all admit it, it's kind of dying. So is it still part of the algorithm? Should you still bother? It is a bit of time. It's not that much time. It's 30 seconds. But really, should you be doing it? I know that me personally, I've kind of skipped out on doing it sometimes, or, half and half. I'd say 50-50 because, just no one uses Google Plus anymore. So should you still bother? So anyways, we took the same 3 pages that we had created. Remember, the one with the Plus the Google badge had never been has never hit number 1. So we thought this would be a good test. 3 identical pages, and we just resumed from here. So what we did is we logged on to our Google Plus accounts, pushed off a bit of dust, and then gave it a vote. So essentially a link back to that page. You could click on the button, or you just go on your Google Plus account and just link to it. So what happened is then we waited 3 days, and kind of to our surprise, but not really, the page moved up. So 3 days later, with only 2 Google Plus votes, that was enough to move the page from position 2 to position number 1. And now the page is in position number 1. So that kind of confirms that even today, Google Plus votes still work, still matter, and you should still do them. So definitely post about every single page that you do care about. So let's say you have a page, it's a money page, post about it on Google Plus. I know you have a Google Plus account. It only took 2 votes, and it had an impact on the rankings. So that's definitely worth doing. It takes 30 seconds. I'm actually going to do a quick little follow-up video in case you're not sure of what I'm talking about when I mean Google Plus vote. But yeah, it takes 2 seconds to do, and it has a positive influence on rankings. Let's just say it's equivalent to an extra backlink. I don't know how much value, how strong it is, but let's say it's worth an extra backlink. That is definitely worth doing, especially if your competitors are not doing it. So every single page you care about, give it a quick little Google Plus vote, and you should see a small little boost. It's awesome. What you don't need is a Google Plus badge, because it does absolutely nothing. Now, in the future, I had another idea. I was like, okay, I know that 2 Google Plus votes was enough to move the needle and move it from position number 2 to number 1, which is awesome. But what if we were to test a high number of Google Plus votes? So I'm actually going to, that's in the plans where I'm going to throw a bunch of Google Plus votes, and we'll see how that reacts. So I hope you're excited. Hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's a good reminder of like, okay, does this still work? There's been so many Google algorithm changes. Should I have Google Plus votes in my kind of ranking recipe? And yes, you should definitely. That's not even a sentence, but you should definitely have those in your ranking recipe. Add Google Plus votes to all the pages that you care about, and expect to see, I guess, a 1-2% or position increase. All right. So if you are wondering how to give a Google Plus, I'm going to show you it's really simple. You just log into Google Plus and you link to the page. I'm just going to give you a quick little demo of that in the video below. So I will talk to you soon.